Have you ever felt like everything is falling apart right before something amazing happens? Those confusing moments, delays, endings, and strange coincidences aren't random. They're powerful signs that your breakthrough is closer than you think. Stay with me, because what you're about to see happens right before it's your turn to win. 1. Emotional heaviness before breakthroughs. Have you ever felt a deep, unexplainable heaviness right before something amazing happened in your life? That weight in your heart, that sense of exhaustion or emotional pressure, it's not random. It's a powerful signal that change is near. Many people experience emotional turbulence right before they reach a major turning point. It's as if your spirit senses the shift before your mind can fully understand it. This emotional heaviness often shows up as frustration, sadness, or even questioning your path. You might start to wonder, why do I feel so stuck when I've been doing everything right? But what's really happening is inner alignment. The old version of you, with old fears, doubts, and limitations, is being stripped away to make space for your higher self. That process can feel uncomfortable because you're being stretched beyond what's familiar. Think of it like the moment just before dawn. The night feels its darkest before the first light appears. In the same way, when life feels emotionally heavy, it's often because you're on the edge of transformation. Your energy is recalibrating to match the vibration of the next level you're stepping into. During this phase, it's essential to practice patience and self-compassion. Don't rush to fix the feelings or label them as negative. Instead, allow yourself to sit with them, breathe through them, and trust that they're guiding you toward clarity. Sometimes what feels like breaking down is actually your breakthrough forming in silence. You may also notice physical tiredness, emotional sensitivity, or an urge to isolate. These are normal signs that your inner system is processing growth. Instead of resisting, give yourself rest, pray, meditate, or spend time in nature. The stillness will help your energy stabilize and your perspective clear. Remember, emotional heaviness doesn't mean failure. It's a mark of progress. You're shedding the weight of who you were to rise into who you're becoming. When that heaviness finally lifts, you'll feel lighter, clearer, and more aligned than ever before. That's when your breakthrough unfolds, effortlessly and beautifully, because you've already done the inner work. So if you're feeling emotionally heavy right now, take heart. You're not falling behind. You're on the verge of your next divine victory. 2. Feeling disconnected or lost. There are moments in life when you suddenly feel out of place, as if you no longer fit into the spaces, relationships, or routines that once felt comfortable. You might wake up one day and realize you don't recognize the person you're becoming, yet you can't quite see who you're turning into either. This in-between phase, the feeling of being disconnected or lost, is not a sign that you're off your path. It's actually one of the clearest indicators that transformation is underway. When your spirit begins to outgrow its current environment, everything familiar starts to feel foreign. The conversations you used to enjoy might now feel draining. The goals that once motivated you might no longer spark excitement. Even your surroundings can begin to feel energetically heavy. It's because your vibration is rising, and the old world around you no longer matches the frequency of where you're going. This feeling of disconnection can be deeply uncomfortable. You might question your purpose or wonder if you've lost direction entirely. But in truth, what's happening is divine reorientation. The universe is quietly pulling you away from distractions and toward alignment. It's removing what no longer serves your growth, not as punishment, but as preparation. Imagine a caterpillar inside its cocoon. It doesn't understand what's happening, and to the outside world, it looks like nothing is moving. But inside, a complete transformation is taking place. The same happens when you feel lost. It's the cocoon stage of your evolution. You're being redefined from the inside out. During this time, it's important to surrender control, stop forcing clarity or rushing to figure it all out. Instead, ground yourself through prayer, journaling, meditation, or simply silence. The answers will come when you've made enough room for them. You may also notice new insights surfacing, fresh inspiration arriving, or unexpected opportunities beginning to form. That's your higher path unfolding. What once made you feel lost will soon make perfect sense. So if you're feeling disconnected, don't panic. You're not lost. You're transitioning. You're being guided away from what was and gently led toward what's next. This emptiness isn't the end. It's the space where your new beginning is quietly being born. 3. Sudden endings or closed doors. Have you ever had something fall apart so unexpectedly that it left you questioning everything? A job loss, a friendship ending, a door that slammed shut just when you thought it was finally opening. Those moments can feel crushing, but they often hold a deeper meaning. Sudden endings are rarely coincidences. They're usually divine redirections. When something exits your life abruptly, it's not because you failed, it's because that chapter has served its purpose. The universe, or divine timing, removes what no longer aligns with your growth. It's like pruning a tree. Branches are cut not to harm it, but to help it grow stronger and bear better fruit. Similarly, the things and people that leave you are creating space for something far greater to enter. At first, it feels painful and confusing. You may replay events in your mind, wondering what went wrong. But often you'll look back months later and realize that door had to close, because if it hadn't, you wouldn't have stepped into your true path. What once felt like rejection was actually protection. The no you received wasn't a denial, it was a divine redirection toward a yes that fits your destiny. Consider how many times you've been saved from something that seemed perfect at the moment, a relationship that would have drained you, a job that wasn't aligned with your calling, or an opportunity that would have distracted you from your purpose. Each ending, no matter how sudden, carries hidden grace. Instead of resisting these closures, try to trust their timing. When a door shuts, it's often because what's behind it can no longer support who you're becoming. Life is guiding you toward people, places, and paths that match your higher vibration. In these moments, stay centered and grateful. Cry if you need to, but also remind yourself, if it left, it wasn't meant for my next chapter. Every ending carries the seed of a new beginning, one that's richer, freer, and more aligned with your soul's purpose. So when something closes suddenly, don't fight it. Let it go with grace, because soon you'll realize that what seemed like loss was actually the universe clearing the way for your greatest win. 4. Unexpected peace in chaos. Have you ever noticed moments of strange calm right in the middle of your biggest storms? When everything around you seems uncertain, plans falling apart, emotions running high, and yet deep inside, you feel an unexplainable peace? That sense of inner stillness is not denial or numbness. It's a powerful spiritual signal that you are aligning with divine order, even when your outer world looks chaotic. This peace doesn't come from things going right. It comes from a quiet knowing that you're being guided. It's the moment when your soul whispers, I don't understand it yet, but I know it's working for me. That inner calm is one of the clearest signs that a breakthrough is near, because your energy is shifting from resistance to trust. You stop fighting the current and start flowing with it. When you reach this point, it means your spirit has matured. You no longer need constant proof or control to feel safe. Instead, you've developed faith, a deep awareness that the pieces will fall into place at the right time. You begin to sense that the chaos is not random. It's rearranging everything so you can finally rise into alignment with your purpose. Imagine being in the eye of a hurricane. The winds rage all around, but in the center, there's complete stillness. That's what divine peace feels like. It's not the absence of challenges, it's the presence of calm despite them. And that calm is what allows clarity and blessings to enter. During this stage, don't question why you suddenly feel okay even when things aren't fixed. That serenity means your soul has already accepted what your mind is still learning, that everything truly happens for a reason. This quiet trust is your soul's victory before the outer victory shows up. So when chaos surrounds you but your heart feels calm, don't dismiss it. That peace is your sign that you've crossed a spiritual threshold. You're no longer reacting, you're aligning. And when you can stand in calm faith amid uncertainty, that's when life begins to turn in your favor. The peace is not after the storm. It's proof that you're already winning within it. 5. Intense inner transformation. Sometimes the biggest changes don't happen around you. They happen within you. You may not see visible progress in your outer world, but inside, something deep is shifting. Your thoughts, emotions, and priorities begin to transform in ways you can't fully explain. This stage of intense inner transformation often arrives right before your breakthrough because you're being spiritually and mentally prepared to handle what's coming next. You might notice that old habits suddenly feel wrong, or that things you once tolerated now drain your energy. People, patterns, and environments that once felt comfortable may begin to feel heavy. That's not a sign of losing direction. It's a sign of evolution. You're shedding your old self, the version of you that couldn't carry the blessings meant for your future. During this time, your emotions may swing between deep reflection and bursts of clarity. You might crave solitude not because you're sad, but because your soul needs quiet to realign. The noise of the world becomes too much because your inner voice is growing louder, guiding you toward authenticity, purpose, and peace. Think of this process like a snake shedding its old skin. It looks uncomfortable, even painful, but it's necessary for growth. The old layer has to come off for the new one to emerge. In the same way, you're being stripped of outdated beliefs, fears, and attachments so that your true self can rise, stronger, clearer, and more aligned. Inner transformation also brings new awareness. You start to see things differently, not as problems, but as lessons. You realize why certain people left, why some paths closed, and why waiting was necessary. That deeper understanding creates a powerful emotional and spiritual maturity, the kind that turns pain into wisdom. If you're in this phase, don't rush it. Transformation takes time and courage. Be gentle with yourself, nurture your spirit, and allow the process to unfold naturally. Soon, your outer world will begin to reflect the growth happening within. Remember before life upgrades your circumstances, it upgrades you. The person you're becoming right now is the key to unlocking everything you've prayed for. So honor this transformation because it's not breaking you down. It's building you into the version of yourself that's finally ready to win. 6. Release of toxic patterns. One of the clearest signs that your breakthrough is near is when you begin releasing toxic patterns. Habits, mindsets, or attachments that once felt normal, but now feel heavy and misaligned. It's not an easy process, but it's one of the most liberating. You start recognizing that certain behaviors, thoughts, or people no longer match the energy of the person you're becoming. This awareness is a divine signal that your spirit is ready to step into a higher frequency of peace and purpose. These patterns can take many forms: people-pleasing, overthinking, fear-based decisions, negative self-talk, or staying in the situations that drain your joy. At first, letting go feels uncomfortable because toxicity can become familiar, even comforting. You might question if you're doing the right thing by walking away, but deep down you know that staying the same costs more than changing ever will. The release often happens gradually. You may find yourself choosing silence over arguments, calm over chaos, or solitude over superficial connections. You stop chasing validation and start valuing peace. This shift shows that your energy is realigning. You're no longer operating from old wounds or insecurities, but from wisdom and self-respect. It's important to remember that releasing toxic patterns isn't about blaming anyone or regretting the past. It's about acknowledging what no longer serves your growth and lovingly setting it free. This process is like clearing out a cluttered room. Once you remove what doesn't belong, light and clarity naturally fill the space. As you let go, you might experience emotional detox, sadness, confusion, or even guilt. That's completely normal. Those emotions are simply the echoes of what you're releasing. Don't resist them. Allow them to flow through you. With every layer you shed, you become lighter, freer, and more aligned with your divine path. Soon you'll notice positive changes unfolding effortlessly. Opportunities begin to appear. Your intuition sharpens. Your relationships deepen. Why? Because the energy that was once trapped in old patterns is now available for creation, growth, and abundance. So when you feel the urge to let go, don't fight it. You're not losing anything real. You're clearing space for what's truly meant for you. The release is not the end. It's the sacred beginning of your new elevated chapter. 7. Divine delays and redirection. One of the most frustrating moments on your journey happens when everything seems ready, yet nothing moves forward. You've done the work, stayed consistent, prayed, believed, and still, things don't unfold as expected. These moments are what we call divine delays, and though they feel discouraging at first, they're some of the most sacred parts of your path. A divine delay doesn't mean denial, it means protection and preparation. The universe, or divine timing, isn't saying no to your desires. It's saying not yet. Because sometimes what you're asking for requires more alignment, or the environment around you isn't ready to support your next step. Think of it like a seed planted in soil. It doesn't sprout the moment it's buried. There's growth happening beneath the surface, even when you can't see it. These delays often come with confusion. You may wonder why doors that look perfect suddenly close, or why opportunities that seem certain vanish. But what if those missed chances were actually redirections saving you from unnecessary struggle? Life has a way of rerouting you towards something far better, something aligned with your purpose, not just your plan. For example, you might be waiting for a job, a relationship, or a breakthrough, thinking it's the one. But behind the scenes, the divine might be rearranging circumstances, preparing better people, timing and conditions for your success. If everything happened when you wanted, you might settle for less than what you deserve. This phase teaches surrender, the art of trusting timing more than your own timeline. When you stop forcing outcomes, you make room for miracles. Divine delays often test your patience, but they also refine your strength, deepen your faith, and ensure that when the moment arrives, you're fully prepared to handle it. So when progress feels slow or doors keep closing, pause and remind yourself, rejection is redirection and delay is divine protection. Every waiting season carries purpose. You're not stuck. You're being strategically guided. Trust that when it's finally time, things will align so effortlessly that you'll realize why every delay had to happen exactly as it did. What's meant for you isn't lost. It's simply being perfected before it reaches you. 8. Signs and synchronicities increasing. As you move closer to your breakthrough, you'll start noticing signs and synchronicities appearing everywhere. Small yet powerful reminders that the universe, or divine guidance, is walking with you. These moments may seem like coincidences at first, but when they begin happening frequently and meaningfully, they're confirmations that you're on the right path. You might repeatedly see certain numbers like 1111, 333, or 777, hear the same phrase from different people, or notice specific symbols, feathers, butterflies, songs, or dreams that seem perfectly timed. These are not random. They are energetic messages designed to reassure and guide you. The more aligned you become, the more clearly you notice them. Synchronicities often appear during times of confusion, doubt, or decision-making. For instance, you may be thinking about taking a leap of faith, and suddenly you hear someone say, "Go for it." Or perhaps you've been praying for strength, and you stumble upon a quote or video that says exactly what you needed to hear. These are divine nudges, gentle confirmations that your higher path is unfolding exactly as it should. These signs can also serve as checkpoints, signals that your vibration is rising and you're entering energetic alignment with your manifestation. When your inner world matches the frequency of your desires, the external world begins to reflect that harmony through repeating patterns, lucky encounters, or perfectly timed opportunities. But here's something important. Synchronicities are not meant to be worshipped or overanalyzed. They're meant to be recognized and appreciated. Their purpose is to remind you that you're supported, that unseen forces are helping to coordinate your path behind the scenes. When you start to notice these signs, take them as encouragement to keep going. Smile, give thanks, and acknowledge the guidance. The more you express gratitude, the more the signs will increase. Not because they suddenly appear, but because your awareness expands to see them. So if you've been seeing repeating numbers, meaningful coincidences, or feeling guided in ways that defy logic, pay attention. These are whispers from the divine, confirming that your energy is in sync with your destiny. The universe is saying, keep trusting. You're getting closer than you think. 9. Spiritual clarity and intuition. Rising as you approach your breakthrough, something profound begins to awaken within you. Your spiritual clarity and intuition start to rise. You begin to see life through a clearer, higher lens. The confusion that once clouded your decisions starts to fade, replaced by a calm sense of knowing. It's not loud or dramatic. It's subtle, peaceful, and powerful. You'll notice that your inner voice becomes sharper, more trustworthy. You begin to sense which choices feel right and which ones don't, even when you can't explain why. This intuitive guidance often comes in quiet nudges, a gut feeling, a gentle warning, or a sudden idea that feels divinely inspired. It's your soul communicating with you, guiding you toward alignment. This clarity also affects your perception. You start recognizing patterns in your life, realizing why certain lessons repeated or why specific people entered and exited your journey. The fog lifts and everything begins to make sense in ways it never did before. You no longer see challenges as punishment, but as preparation. That's when you truly understand that everything has been happening for you, not to you. With this deeper awareness, you become less reactive and more centered. You stop chasing answers outside yourself because you begin trusting the wisdom within. Decisions become easier, not because life gets simpler, but because your connection to divine guidance grows stronger. You may find yourself drawn to prayer, meditation, or solitude, not out of escape, but because your spirit craves clarity and truth. As intuition rises, synchronicities intensify. You might think of someone and they call, or you'll feel guided to take an action that leads to a perfect opportunity. These are confirmations that you're now in flow. Your energy, intuition, and destiny moving in harmony. This stage is incredibly empowering because it reconnects you with your inner authority. You no longer rely on external validation or fear-based choices. Instead, you move from peace, not pressure, from faith, not fear. So if you've been feeling unusually guided, if your inner voice feels stronger, or if you're beginning to understand things you once couldn't, take note. That's your spiritual sight sharpening. The divine is awakening your intuition so you can walk confidently toward your breakthrough with clarity, trust, and power. 10. The calm before the manifestation. Right before your breakthrough arrives, you may experience a quiet stillness, a period that feels almost too calm after all the emotional storms and spiritual battles. This is known as the calm before the manifestation, and it's one of the most sacred signs that your energy has aligned and your blessings are on their way. In this phase, life feels peaceful, but strangely uneventful. You might not see any major progress on the outside, yet deep inside, you sense something shifting. The anxiety that once consumed you begins to fade, and you feel lighter, freer, and more grounded. That's because you've finally released resistance. You've stopped chasing, worrying, or trying to force things into place, and in doing so, you've entered a state of allowing. This calm isn't boredom or indifference, it's inner balance. It's your spirit resting after the storm, knowing the work is done. You've passed the tests of patience, faith, and surrender, and now you're standing in alignment with what you've been preparing for. Think of it like the quiet moment before sunrise. The world looks still, but everything is in motion beneath the surface. The light is about to break through. During this stage, it's important not to mistake silence for stagnation. Just because nothing seems to be happening doesn't mean nothing is happening. The divine often moves in silence, orchestrating details, connecting people, and aligning circumstances in ways you can't yet see. This is also when your inner peace becomes magnetic. The energy you radiate begins to attract the right opportunities, relationships, and outcomes naturally. You no longer need to chase what's yours. It begins to find its way to you. If you're feeling this deep calm and where your heart is quiet, your mind is at ease, and your soul feels ready, know that this is your signal. The manifestation is not coming someday. It's already unfolding now. You're standing in the final peaceful pause before the shift becomes visible. So breathe, stay centered, and trust the stillness. The calm before manifestation is not empty, it's full of divine movement. And when the silence breaks, everything you've been praying, working, and believing for will begin to flow effortlessly into your reality. Your winning moment is already on its way. Every challenge you face is shaping you for your greatest win. Trust the timing, stay strong, and keep believing. Comment this affirmation. My breakthrough is already on its way.